Good evening and welcome back to the West Ham Network for your rendition of Hammer's headlines. It is the 27th of September. If this is, of course, in association with the guys over at kumb.com, kneesupmotherbrown.com. Trust me, get across there. Go and check it out. Great website, of course, great content and great information. West Ham fans all over the world, all over the globe, having a good old chinwag as well. But we are here to talk to you about some of the stories of today and go a little bit deeper into some of them if we can, sometimes as well, depending on what news is coming out from West Ham. And then we'll get started on the first story of today, and that is Thomas Soucek and the fact that David Moyes is set to sit down with Tommy Soucek and thrash out exactly why potentially his form has nosedived as of late. Now, he is currently away on international duty with, of course, his home country, Czech Republic, and they are going to be facing Switzerland this evening in their next game. Now, that comes after they got smashed 4-0 by Portugal last week in a game which Soucek was largely ineffective, and that really has been the story of his campaign so far. Now, he did score against Spurs, but he hasn't been up to his and fulfilling his midfield duty. His passing and his shooting seemingly deserting him completely, and he hasn't got an assist in the league. And the only other goal he scored came against Viborg in the Conference League qualifiers. Now, Moyes has, though, continued to pick Soucek, but there is a looming threat that he could be dropped from his form. And does that not change, then what will that mean for the future of Tommy Soucek at West Ham? And as a result, we fully expect David Moyes to sit down, have that conversation with Tommy Soucek to iron out what the problems are and see if there's anything that they can do to work at and getting him into a better place. Now, West Ham, of course, take on Wolves this weekend in a huge game with David Moyes, and West Ham currently languishing in the relegation zone. We need to push our way up that league again, and we really need to hope that Tommy Soucek doesn't go missing. Lots of calls, though, for Flynn Downs to come into the team ahead of Tommy Soucek. So put in the comments and let us know what your thoughts are as well as we move on to the next story. And let's go in a little bit deeper, though, on Frattesi. Davide Frattesi, the number one target for the winter window. I recorded a video, and let's see what I said earlier on Frattesi. Anybody else ready to discuss domestic football? Let's park the international football. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I certainly have not enjoyed this international break. Ready for West Ham to kickstart our season when we take on Wolves this weekend. I can't believe we're back, but we are nearly back. So bear with us as we start to bring you all of our matchday content left, right, and center. I hope you're all well anyway. If you are new around here, please make sure you do hit that cheeky little subscribe button. Why not? It's just there. And then alongside that, hit the bell notification as well as I start on today's story, and that is West Ham could return to Sassuolo. Yes, that team that we signed Gianluca Scamacca for, and we're looking to potentially go back to them in January and try and sign a player called Davide Frattesi after failing in the summer, according to reports, to sign him. Now, West Ham had the 23-year-old on our radar over the summer as we looked to overhaul the squad, but we opted against pursuing a move, and we then went for Flynn Downs, the preferred choice in midfield. But David Moyes has potentially not given up hope on signing the Italian international, and he could now be prepared to head back to Sassuolo for a second purchase in as many windows after bringing Gianluca Scamacca, like I said, to West Ham from the same club. Now, Frattesi has played all of their games in Serie A this season, scoring twice, whilst also having made 4 appearances for the national team since his debut back in June of this year. Now, West Ham are not alone in admiring the 23-year-old. Brighton and our London rivals, the Spuds, are supposedly interested and are putting him high on their agenda. Also, now, what do we know about Frattesi? He is a very good footballer and someone who can improve David Moyes' squad. As right now, it doesn't seem to be looking as exciting as we first thought. However, I still have the patience. I'm going to back what's happening right now. Now, We have splashed a lot of cash in the summer, so would we want to take that to the next level in the winter transfer window? Now, that's the key question. Will we continue and have a winter spending spree come January? We'll have to wait and see. But it hasn't quite worked out for West Ham as of yet because we are in the relegation zone after 7 matches. But does it mean spending money is the answer? We will have to wait and see. If Frattesi can be brought in, though, for a relatively cheap fee, or potentially a sale is made in January, then it should be a move that we seriously consider making to add some much needed legs to the middle of the park. And Moyes does have a lot of pressing concerns on his plate at the moment, though, and to focus on those rather than the transfer window for the following couple of months until the window opens up. But time will tell, of course. Now, Sassuolo have been a real conveyor belt of talent over the past few years, and Frattesi is no different. The 23-year-old joined them from Roma in 2017 for a reported fee of £4.5 million, and he's taken in 3 loan spells since. Let me bring up some cheeky little images for you, as well as Scoli, Empoli, and Monza, just to name a few, before breaking into their Sassuolo's first team this season or that season. Now, he's made 47 appearances to his name, registering 6 goals and 4 assists. He does bring pace, power, passion, all the P's, and desire to the game, and he's been a consistent performer that rarely puts in a bad shift. Now, he's a big-bodied midfielder that throws his weight around, bruises the opposition, seeks to dominate within his ability in the middle of the park, and he does genuinely look like a nightmare to play against. And as because he constantly snaps at the heels of the opposition, especially of his direct opponent, in an attempt to win back possession, some of that quick fire, energy we need in the middle of the park. And he is very quick too, regularly demonstrating great recovery speed that makes him a very valuable asset when defending in transition. An important virtue in a ball-dominant team that wants to defend high up the pitch. One player that is part of that new generation of young Italian football talent. Frattesi has it all in an abundance. Now, last summer, after an impressive 2021 season with Sassuolo in midfield, playing part of Italy holding up the trophy of Euros 2020, which of course was in the 2021 season. They had a player called Locatelli. Now, he was moved on to Serie A giants Juventus for a fee in the region of €37.5 million. And during that same campaign, Frattesi was on loan at Monza, where he was excellent for them, bagging 8 goals in total and registering 2 assists. However, it was in a league below in Serie B, and it was obvious that he would be Locatelli's replacement for them at the time. And of course, the two players are very different in terms of their styles of play. Locatelli sat a lot deeper and dictated the play in front of the back line, while Frattesi advances further up the pitch and is far more active in the final third. Now, Sassuolo's tactical setup under the current boss allows Frattesi to use his strengths well. The Italian minnows mainly deploy 4-2-3-1 formation over the past year. However, regardless of whether they play the 4-2-3-1 or slightly a more attacking 4-3-3, the shape always resembles the latter during the possession phase. And in a 4-2-3-1, Frattesi plays as the right-sided player in a double pivot, while he operates as a right central midfielder in a 4-3-3. And regardless of the structure, Frattesi drifts towards the wide areas, and that's something that I think would add real value to West Ham rather than just staying centrally through the middle of the park. Now, one of his biggest impressive traits is the lack of injuries. Now, his best ability is his availability. Do you like that one? His best ability is his availability. And Frattesi is almost always fit to play, having featured in a total of 36 times during the 21-22 league campaign for Sassuolo and 38 overall, accumulating a total of over 3,000 minutes in the season. Now, in the modern game, a midfielder without a sense of positional awareness on the football pitch is just as useless as a car without wheels. Even if the engine is made by Ferrari, they can have all the technical skills in the world, but they remain a liability without the knowledge of how to move into the correct spaces and in crowded spaces as well. Fortunately, though, Frattesi doesn't have this problem. He is always moving in to the correct spaces, finding the space, receiving the ball, and sometimes merely taking other players out of their own position. He is a constant mover and groover. Now, Frattesi wouldn't need the ball to be played into space in order to get into the penalty area. He ranked 91st percentile for carries into the box per 90, and the 83rd percentile for carries into the final third per 90. And what helped this is his wonderfully powerful dribbling ability. The boy knows how to keep the ball at his feet. He's a master at getting into the box from a deep lying position. He also likes to help out in the final third as well. He tries to chip in with a few goals at Monza in the Serie B back in the 2021 campaign. The youngster bagged 8 goals, like I said, in total, which is a great output for a midfielder of his position. And this was a cut in half once he began receiving minutes with Soucek in a much tougher league as well. And what's even more impressive is his offensive stats, notably regarding his expected goals. He averaged an expected goal ratio of 0.2 per 90 in the last campaign, placing him in the 95th percentile for midfielders as well. He also averaged over 2 shots per 90 minutes and getting just under one of those shots on target, ranking him up there in the 96th and 95th percentiles, respectively. Now, his current club are going to probably struggle to hold on to this absolute gem of a player. But if he is at the right level at this moment in time, then I can see a move to the Premier League, and it's been rumoured before, not just with West Ham. Now, who does he remind me of that we currently watch? Who's the player I went on about all summer? Conor Gallagher. He plays a lot like him. He plays a lot like Conor Gallagher in the attacking phases. He's a constant threat in the box, and he loves attacking at the right-hand channels. Well, he is very reminiscent and equally of Yuri Tielemans from Leicester City in the defensive phases. He's a good reader of the game, but he can play all around quite easily. His all-round game is very, very good. And he is still incredibly rough around the edges, but he is an exciting prospect for the future of Italian football. And to add one final piece to the jigsaw, who's his best mate? Who does he follow everywhere he goes in his football career? None other than Gianluca Scamacca, as you've seen from the images I've shown you in the intro video. He is his best mate, and I have the full belief that Scamacca is going to bang and smash it at West Ham. And if you bring in someone like Frattesi to make him settle more at home in a position that we do need recruits for, then so be it. Will we bring in the Italian international, Davide Frattesi? You let me know in the comments below. Please hit. There you go. So what do you think of Frattesi? I mean, for me personally, yeah, let's do it. Let's get the deal done. If you haven't already, though, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscription button. Hit that bell notification. That will notify you when our shows do go live. We've spoken about Tommy Soucek. We've spoken about Frattesi being reunited, of course, with Scamacca. Put your comments in the comment section. Go and check out the guys over at Knees Up Mother Brown. Thank you for watching. I want you all, of course, to stay safe as well and take it easy. And come on, you Irons.